Good afternoon, boys and girls, and welcome to episode 100. And I've already seen comments saying nice turtleneck. Now, I've got to do one thing. Okay, right, because we're trying out new equipment today. So I'm counting on you, kind folks, to tell me what you think of the sound today. But I just had to lean over to make sure that the microphone is doing its thing. So many comments already. Thank you very much for tuning in, folks. I'll get to the comments in a sec, but I should say welcome to episode 131 of Love at First Scent with me, Persolaise, coming to you today live from YouTube. As always, please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already done so. If you're not watching live, please feel free to ask questions, leave comments. I usually get around to them in due course. And if you are watching live, do try to stick around because we're going to try to do 4 episodes back to back. 3 of them focusing on brand new things that I genuinely haven't smelt before, so which is always a little bit nerve-wracking, and one of them an absolute all-time classic, which I'm sure you have smelt many times before, and I have smelt as well. Okay, so first comment today goes to Keith Montgomery, who says, good morning from Canada. I guess it's afternoon where you are. Yes, it is 4 p.m. here in the UK. Angela, hi there, everyone, on a sunny day in Leeds, West Yorkshire. Lovely knitwear, says Rich. Thank you very much. Tremendous. Why, I'm pleased you approve. Keith says, please explain Absolu to me. I know cologne, EDT, EDP, and extra, but not Absolu. Well, I think in a word we can say that it's just made up. People just call whatever they want an Absolu, but yeah, I don't think we need to dwell on it too much. Finally made a live session, says Daniel. Thank you very much for tuning in. No kiss girl this week, says Angela, unless things go very horribly wrong, right? You're a nice turtleneck. I tore mine yesterday after one wearing. Not a good start. Yeah, that wouldn't be good today either. Would you like some Pavarotti Pour-Homme to try, says Rich. Can I get back to you on that one? Hi from Chicago, says Frag Chaitan, and Yura says hello from the quaint Irish countryside. Is that meant to be, am I meant to think that it's not actually quaint? Okay, I hope you're all well. We need to get going with this. I'm genuinely excited. Look, I'm so excited that I actually didn't even prepare the set properly, so watch while we quickly do this. This was here all along, folks, okay? Beautiful has, oh, hello from humid Dakar, everyone, says Ashfaq. Keep the comments coming. Somebody's saying, your turtleneck is making me miss winter. Hello from Bahrain, says Lulu. Well, do you want to swap places? Hi from Warsaw, says Maria Cześć. And hi from Texas, says Eric. Okay, I will get to the rest of the comments as and when they come. Now, Beautiful, which was released in... Isn't it shocking to think that 35 years ago was 1985, because this new version of Beautiful, a limited edition, has been released to mark the 35th anniversary of the original release or the release of the original Beautiful. Long been one of my favorite Lauders. When I did my rundown over on the blog a few years ago of my favorite Estee Lauder scents, I included Beautiful in the rundown because it is just gorgeous. It's one of those perfumes that I immediately recommend to people if they want an abstract, symphonic floral that somehow seems to convey images of lots and lots of different flowers very convincingly, without focusing on any one in particular, but also without losing the plot and without ever losing coherence and focus and clarity. It is just gorgeous, fantastically named. Estee Lauder, after they originally released it, they very quickly, I think, started marketing it as a wedding scent, and I think. I wish I was 35. I see Angela says, no, you don't. I mean, well, maybe you do, but what I mean is you should be proud of whatever age you are. Happy birthday, Rich, says Yura. Have I missed a comment? Oh, did somebody say, I'm 35 on Thursday, says Rich Mitch. Well, happy birthday to you. I've never known what to think of this idea of it being marketed as a wedding perfume, because, I mean, I think it's done very well for Lauder, marketing it in that sense, but I think when you give it a sort of niche appeal like that, I don't know whether you end up shooting yourself in the foot a little bit or maybe stopping other people from wearing it because some people may think, well, I'm not getting married, so I can't wear this. But um, I I adore it, and so I am very, very nervous about what this is going to be like because I hope it's going to be good. A little while ago, what is it, a couple of years ago, they also did a sort of follow up to Azure, which I wasn't so crazy about. But I have to say, the thing with Beautiful, and also to a great extent the thing with Azure, is that they haven't necessarily aged very well. Um, and much as I love, look at this presentation, by the way. I'm guessing this isn't just the press presentation. I'm guessing this is how it's actually going to be sold. It is a limited edition and it's called Beautiful Absolu. And as you can see, hang on, let me see if we can do this. It is meant to be a kind of collaboration of sorts with none other than Andy Warhol, who apparently really loved the original Beautiful and wore it. And I think we will find out a little bit about that when we look at the press material. Um, the thing about this is a bit hard to. Okay, here we go. The thing about I'll get this booklet out as well, so I've got it. About Beautiful and Azure is that they haven't aged terribly well. In the case of Beautiful, maybe it's the use of some of the sort of salicylate type materials, but they really, really feel like they are of the 80s, which isn't a bad thing at all. There's a close up of the bottle for you. Um, not a bad thing at all, but it does mean that when you wear it, if you are a fragrance fan, you wear it knowing that you are putting across a kind of retro message, whereas somebody who maybe doesn't particularly have that kind of geeky knowledge of perfumery as part of their makeup might smell beautiful and think, oh, this smells a little bit old to me. Anyway, I think the time has come. Can you tell? Can you tell when I'm nervous and I sort of put off smelling these things? But I really, really want to know what this is. Please, please, please let it be good. But even if I don't love it, at least I still have the original Beautiful, right? Which we may spray as well and share with each other today because it is great. So this is Beautiful Absolu limited edition to mark the 35th anniversary of the original Beautiful, and it's out now. And I believe that in the UK it's exclusive to Harrods, but I will check that in the press release in a moment. Stop delaying, Persolaise, just do this. I don't even know what the concept behind it is, what the idea is. Is it meant to be a homage to the original? I know nothing about it. Oh, okay, definitely shades of the original Beautiful in there. Persolaise is smiling at the moment. What's this? I will use Absolu in a sentence. I do Absolu wish I was still 30. And you're saying, don't worry, it won't be as bad as Aventus, you think? Now this is fascinating. This is fascinating so far because at least at first sniff, I should say at first scent, shouldn't I? It genuinely feels like a proper update. Now, I think we've got to do a side by side, haven't we? Let me not that I think I'll struggle to remember which is which, but I'll just label this blotter. What made the original Beautiful so special as well is that it wasn't, of course, just a floral, but it had a very marked green character that contrasted so well with the floral notes and made them interesting, and also a very, very marked chypre personality. So it was, really, really quite a complex thing. Probably one of the most interestingly complex for a sense of the 80s. Okay, and so what they seem to have retained is the green character, and maybe toned down some of those big bouffant 80s hairstyle shoulder pad type notes, which is, I guess, exactly how you would want them to go about doing an update. I must be careful not to smell the original too much, but then that could be also one way of blinding myself to what's the similar in the two of them so that I can see what the differences are. And I think at the moment I'm thinking the difference is that this is more sharply green. it's almost taking me into the territory of alliage, but no galbanum here. It's more sort of like cut grass green, and it's maybe not. It's maybe just not so big. Even though Peggy's saying nothing wrong with 80s styling, absolutely nothing wrong with 80s styling. But we're not making value judgments here. Well done from pronouncing chypre right. I always say you pronounce it like sheep while choking. What, like sheep? Fine, okay. Um, Okay, so it's greener, it's sharper, it's brighter, it's more radiant, and it's less expansively floral and less sweet. Because that's the other thing about the original Beautiful as well, is that the floral notes are markedly sweet. Because so you've got in the original, I always think of things like sweet peas and freesias and lilacs and those flowers which are noteworthy for their sweetness. But this one, I guess, is fresher. Um, but very, very good start. Let me just go back to the original again. Yeah, I mean, the original is just very, very grand, very assertive. Right, I'll look at some comments that I've missed. Well done, Lauder, so far. This is going straight on Madame Persolaise's skin after this. Because I think she thinks that the original Beautiful is a little bit too 80s for her as well, even though she has no problem with Dior's Poison. Right, let me see if I've missed any comments. The name Absolu is totally ridiculous, says Richmond. Well, we can have that debate another time. You may be right. It's very girly and beautiful presentation, says Angela. Yes, it looks like a CD booklet, says Ashfaq. We need to look at that as well. Good afternoon from Salzburg. I didn't know there's a new Beautiful. Well, you do now. Beautiful is lovely, agrees Yura. And then we have the Aventus comment. Original Beautiful has great longevity. Yes, like a lot of those 80s scents, right? Who's the perfumer? I don't think I will be able to find out. Lauder, I don't understand with Lauder. I even asked Karen Khoury, the ex-creative director at Lauder, what it was about, what it is about the fact that they don't want to reveal the identities of the perfumers. And I don't know if she gave me a really, really satisfactory answer, but they don't. And sometimes we find out. In the case of Tom Ford, I don't get it. We will be coming to Tom Ford in today's final broadcast. In the case of Tom Ford, I particularly don't get it because I think he is genuinely interested in perfume. I think he is a guy. I mean, we know he's genuinely interested in styling and male grooming and beauty products and all the rest of it. But I'm convinced that he is genuinely interested in perfume as well. And I just find it odd that he doesn't want to openly give due credit to the perfumers, but they don't. And so, as I say, sometimes we find out the names of the perfumers, sometimes we don't. Obviously, in the case of Frederic Malle, we absolutely do, and I mention Malle because Frederic Malle is a Lauder brand. But then, in a way, that's their raison d'être, right? To name the perfumes. In the 80s, says Angela, fragrance had to be big to overpower all that hairspray. Very true. Hi from Dublin says, we are sentient. Strangely, I have a bottle of Jules by Dior arriving soon. That's big galbanum. Oh, it's big everything, isn't it, Jules? That's a good one, though. Should have named it Still Beautiful, says Peggy. I would have liked that. Does it remind you of Jean Patou, says Gino. Do you mean Joy by Jean Patou, the much lamented Joy by Jean Patou? Well, in a word, no, because the Jean Patou was always rose and jasmine, this endless carpet of rose and jasmine, whereas Beautiful has always been a more sort of symphonic, abstract floral. Let's no, this is the new one now, isn't it? Almost like a sort of peppery quality to it as well. Okay, let's see what Lauder would have us take as the press blurb, and then we need to move on. So in 1985, it says, Mrs. Estee Lauder introduced her new fragrance Beautiful to a crowd of socialites and celebrities, including pop artist Andy Warhol. Andy declared Estee's fragrance of 1,000 Flowers his new favorite fragrance, so much so that he even wore it himself. Like Estee, Andy was a visionary and also had a passion for flowers, capturing their beauty in bold pop art paintings. Now, for the first time, two floral icons come together in the ultimate collaboration of timeless scent and modern style to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Beautiful. The new Beautiful Absolu is a limited edition concentration celebrating Beautiful's unprecedented floralcy. Ooh, that's a word. It's a weird word, that isn't it? Floralcy. Absolu amplifies Beautiful's signature scent and showcases at its heart the scent of a tuberose flower captured at dawn, if you say so. To match its elegance, a colourful pattern of Andy's signature flowers makes the package a work of art in itself. The fragrance opens up with a romantic blend of tender lily and sensual rose, enveloped by notes of sparkling orange and fresh marigold. Not the gloves. A white floral bouquet arises to reveal a sumptuous tuberose, freshly picked. Rich notes of orange flower, muguet, jasmine, and ylang ylang immerse the senses, and vibrant notes of vetiver and sandalwood elegantly blend into a sensual amber undertone. And there's a quote from Andy Warhol. You can just imagine him saying this. Beautiful? Are you serious? That's the name of it? I love it. Housed in a new bottle, Beautiful Absolu highlights the connection between Estee and Andy. Inspired by the original 1985 Beautiful bottle, it features a clean-lined silhouette with a modern sculptural flower golden cap. Okay, fine. And that's kind of it. It says, oh no, sorry, it's not exclusive to Harrods. It just says the new Estee Lauder Beautiful Absolu will be launching 5th of October, available at Estee Lauder counters nationwide. So even though it's a limited edition, you should have no trouble finding it. And let me just quickly go on to the little CD booklet that we had, just to comments here. Bobak says, hello all, tuning in from Tehran. Scent of the day is Bergamot Soleil from Atelier Cologne. Angela says, no, not the gloves. Right, let me just see if there's anything in here that we've missed in this little booklet, which I presume you get if you buy the fragrance, right? 35th Anniversary Collector's Edition. In 1985, Estee Lauder launched Beautiful, her new fragrance, telling women this is your moment to be beautiful. And then we've got the thing about, I think it's pretty much the same words. Then there's something about the Andy Warhol Foundation for the Visual Arts. Ashfaq says, hope Andy Warhol Foundation is well paid. I have a feeling that they've probably come to an agreement about something. And then it's the rest in French. So I guess we're done as far as that's concerned. Let's have a final sniff before we move on. Yeah, the word that keeps coming to mind is sharper, more angular, I guess. And maybe 80s perfumes were more curvaceous. I don't know. Would it be fair to say that? I mean, they had cheekbones as well in the 80s, didn't they? But this is just more outdoorsy, and I think that maybe Absolu isn't the best name for it. And of course, now that I've been reading tuberose, I'm thinking, oh yes, I suppose I get the kind of that greenness of tuberose. You know how sometimes tuberose can actually come across as super green? That's in here as well. It will be interesting to find out how it progresses on the blotter. Don't forget, a few hours after the broadcast, usually within about 18 to 24 hours, there will be a blotter update in the video description below. So I think it is time for us to move on. We will let YouTube do its thing, and then we will be back in a few minutes with an absolute bona fide classic that I'm sure you all know. See you soon.